The show will begin in 5,
4,
3, 2,
1.
Thursday night CrossFit talk with Scott Schweitzer and Jamie Latimer.
We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the skies. We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the skies. Hickory, dock. Giving them all that we got. Kick on the door. Try to knock, but nobody answered. I'm going hard and taking my chances. I keep it moving. I keep advancing. Keeping it gangster.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Thursday night CrossFit talk. We're still getting the stuff ready. Still getting it ready. Got everything going on in the back, and I use that whole opening montage to get one more thing ready.
Awesome.
But it is I, the Clydesdale, Scott Schweitzer, her, Jamie Latimer, super stud, athlete, all the things. We're here to break down some Crash Crucible. We're here to talk about things going on in the CrossFit space, all the things. So, how are you?
I'm good. Feeling almost fully recovered. My shoulder's a little achy, but beyond that, my body feels pretty good.
Yeah, I had a awesome day, sarcastically speaking.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been no secret that at work I am trying to just get by.
Yeah.
Right. Like, this is my passion. Work is just what pays the bills. And I got put on 4 work groups today. 4 work groups. And I'm leading one of them. So I might actually have to do more than the minimum for a while. Oh, well.
I mean, it's not peak CrossFit season, so if there's a time for it, I'd say right now is good.
Yeah, get my shit done is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially that one I'm leading. Get done as soon as possible. Yeah. So we are 1 week, not even a full week after Crash Crucible. We did live update shows on day 1 and day 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then we let you celebrate your birthday and let me spend some time with my daughter on Sunday. And now we're going to break down the last day of Crash and how you're doing afterwards. So the last day you went in, I know last we spoke, there's a lot of P-score stuff, and we're going to get into that in detail in a little bit. You had PR'd a ton Friday and Saturday, but the leaderboard didn't show your efforts because of weird stuff. So you go into Sunday with the hundreds, and you smashed it in your heat. My biggest question to you is, if you would have been in the heat ahead, could you have gone faster, or did you leave it all out on the floor?
I feel like I left it on the floor, but who knows with me?
Yeah. So, because you were leading through the toes to bar and the whatever the second movement was with the kettlebell, the snatch, and then the box jumps, you fell behind a little bit, and then when it came to
I did, but I didn't. I kind of let her go ahead, and then on the last 20, I went ahead again. So I was the first one off the box in my heat.
And then where I was so proud of you, because you are traditionally a slow squatter, you hammered through those squats.
Yeah, I was proud of those.
Are you still proud of those?
Yeah, I think I squatted full depth and fully stood up every single rep, and I am proud of my squats.
And you went fast.
Yeah. I mean, fast for me. Yeah. Yeah.
So Corey says, I believe you left it on the floor, Jamie. I don't think you know how to do anything else. But I know what you're saying. Like from my competition days, like if you're not pushed, you feel like you're giving everything you can. But there are times when like that win becomes so important that you go to something you don't believe you actually could have done and you push to that place and you don't know if you have it until you try to go there.
Right.
Especially on a Sunday of a competition.
Yeah.
I believe that's one of your superpowers. Is it on Sunday you can and other people can't, but it's still an unknown until you actually try to do it.
Yeah, I will say, and I heard JR mention this. I don't know if it was in his on Coffee Pods and Wads or on his review with Chase, that like he intentionally programmed the way he programmed so that people could still go really hard on Sunday. Saturday was like very minimal programming in my mind. Just get through the skill work of the handstand walk, and then yes, it was heavy, but it's only so many reps, and I don't know, maybe it's just me because I don't know can't lift heavy, and it doesn't ever like blow up my CNS, and I don't like a few reps at like my one rep never seemed to wreck me. So like to me, Saturday felt like I barely did anything. And I don't like that. I'm sure the rest of the comp liked that. And, but what I like is like hammering people on day 1 and 2 and seeing who can survive on day 3. Cause yes, I feel like that's usually my strong suit.
Yeah, you have a lot of endurance that others don't have. Yeah, and Saturday, even though it was you PR'd 2 different apparatus, it really was just 2 kind of monostructural movements, and you're done. So yeah, so you start with the hundreds. Super proud of you. Think you did amazing, and then you finish off with. Can you remind me what oh boy, we lost her for a second and she's back.
Yep. Re-ring and re-bag. So the 12 ring muscle ups, 70-meter sled push. So 4 lengths of the floor, and then 12 ring muscle ups, time cap 5 minute, mandatory 2-minute reset. And then 7 sandbag cleans, 12 9-inch deficit handstand push-ups, 7 sandbag cleans was the finale.
So you were a little bit worried about the sandbag, but that workout went really well for you.
It went okay. Again, could I have moved faster on the bag? Could I have pushed the pace on the handstand push-ups a little more? I don't know. I won that workout in my heat again, and I got beat by like 3 seconds in the next heat, like things like that. Just because I went kind of slow on the bag on the way back. I don't know. I like handstand push-ups. That one was better for me. I hate higher volume ring muscle ups. It's still bothering my shoulder. I think I'm super lazy on the turnover. I still think I protect my back with like everything I do, and so I don't have like good hip explosion. So I don't know. I got to get better at ring muscle ups. Like smaller number over rounds would be fine for me. It's just like that density, just staying on the rings just doesn't ever work out well for me.
And you still almost finished the workout.
Yeah, I had 3 left and I had two fails. So if I wouldn't have had the 2 fails, I'd have been like right there.
Yeah. So that would, yeah. And still, at the end of the day, like what you masters athletes were doing compared to the elite field was so impressive.
Well, like arguably more like I still waiting. Tyler said he was going to make a full leaderboard. That's my only gripe about this whole thing. I would like to see where we all finished. And I even touched, if anyone just watched the MFC wrap up, one of the things I said in there is like, I still want to be competitive. And I really want to know where I finished against all those younger people. And I think Carolyn might have won the whole thing. Like, I think that's pertinent information to know. Like, I mean, I got like 6th, but if I got 6th in a field of people who are at the very top end of this field, like, maybe I didn't do so bad, you know? Like, it's, I don't know.
So,
Carolyn, so she would have gotten 5th. Okay.
But her last day was her worst day.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't even have to show up to win, right? So again, it's one of these theoretical things where people are going to say, yeah, she would have finished 5th, but we don't really know if she was competing against them and had to hammer it on Sunday. Who knows what she would have done? Mm-hmm. Like she had a 140 point lead going into the last event. She didn't even have to show up and still would have won by 40.
Well, no, it was a 200 point event, so not necessarily true. She couldn't take 2 zeros.
Okay. Well, I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah. Well, Carolyn, where was that? I'm curious to see that.
So I don't. I thought Holly put that together for us, just not in a consecutive list. But I'm not sure. Yeah,
but Holly just like took our points. Like it needs to literally be the P score in a 38 person field and totally recalculate. Like Tyler needs to do his sheet over. And yes, I totally think it would have mattered with seeding and heats. Like if Carolyn Klutz would have gotten to like go head to head in the final heat, maybe it would have made a difference.
Holly says Tyler posted the link.
Oh, cool. Okay. I'll have to go find that. Awesome.
So there we have that. And so it was a very, very competitive field. Do you feel like you got an experience that you needed that'll help you next season?
I don't know. I mean, it was cool like getting to do some of those implements, but so now I've touched a handstand ramp and stairs. I'm probably never like I don't have one, and I don't know that I'm ever gonna see one in competition again. So I doubt I'm gonna try to find them to like do more work on it. I do think I could get better at it if I touched it once a week or more, but like I'm not investing hundreds. I don't know, what are those things, like $600 at least? Like, yeah, I mean, like, I'm not investing that for an apparatus that I'm probably never going to see again. So that, I don't know, like, the pegboard, I wish I need to get a full pegboard at the gym. Because doing like, I just have the half and that is not even close to the same. And again, same thing with the flip sled. Do I invest in a flip sled? It's such a, I don't know. So it's like,
it's a shame you didn't have like bigger gyms around you where you could like go and do something occasionally like this. Because yeah, we'll get into that in a minute, but
And
yeah,
to your point, I feel like I got, like, yeah, I definitely got to experience different things. But like we talked about at MFC, like that race, with a small field, like that was a hard thing for me at MFC. Was a 20-person floor, and I was having a hard time to like get a feel for the floor and where I'm at and where to race. And this small 4-person almost feels like you're not getting that experience. Like you're not getting the floor awareness. You're not getting that race. The couple times I was against Haley, we were pretty close, so that was good. But actually, I think that was only like that hundreds. She wasn't in my heat, but like finished within like a second of me in other events. But like it,
and you and her on the thruster were really tight.
yeah, yeah. We tied. So we like basically. I mean, I think we tied on one or two events. We're within a second on an event, like, but there was only 2 times that we were in the same heat, so I didn't get to experience that race per se. And that's what I need more of, is that race. And yeah, like you said, like I don't know that the first event, I don't feel like I knew how to pace because I didn't know how to do. I hadn't ever done full pegboards fatigue, so it's like I don't know how hard to push. Like I'm just over here trying to stay in my own lane and make sure I pace it properly. And you saw the individuals like that did go out too hot fail in the last round, and I was trying to avoid that, and maybe I played it too safe. I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't look like you struggled on the pegboard ever.
Yeah,
but they didn't either until they did.
Right.
So yeah, it was crazy to me how many people failed with like one stick to go.
Yeah, just that like coming down off. I think partially it's because you're coming down to the bottom. You're trying to keep your legs up, and it's just that fall away because you're no longer in that.
I also, and because I'm an expert at pegboarding for sure, people were making too large of a jump to the final hole, and then the pressure on the top stick, the physics of it made it so it was impossible to release it.
Yeah.
So they were having to like almost jump with their bottom hand to get enough pressure off of it to get it out. And so I think they were getting greedy at the end, just like you would with a handstand walk where you're almost there and you're trying to take, or a lunge. That's something I'm really familiar with, where you take that long stride at the end. You don't have to do an extra rep. Yeah. That's what it looked like to me. So away from like your competition piece of it, how did the event run? Was it a cool event?
Yeah, super well run. Holy cow, he runs a tight ship there. On time, not long transitions. I like, as a spectator, I know it's still a kind of long day and there was a lot of heats. But yeah, 2-minute transitions, you're out on the floor. You're not corralled for super long, like maybe 10 minutes, if that. And they were pretty like lax about you running out to the bathroom or doing whatever. Super well run. Clear lanes, clear floor markers. He did a great job.
Nice warm-up area.
Yeah, I mean, there was like 2 of each thing, and I would say us as masters sort of got the short end of the stick because we were right after teams, and they didn't always do the same thing as us. So like their floor, they would be set up with their equipment in there, and there's more of them because it's teams. So it's kind of busy in there with them, and we're trying to get in there and like start warming up, but they're all on the bikes or whatever. And they don't have the yoke out for us. Did they have the yoke out for that one? Yeah, they had the yoke out for that one. They didn't have like the flip sleds out for us. Like we had to sort of wait to get those out on the floor. So just like little things that I'm the individuals probably had no, it was probably perfect for them. And heats of 6, you're not overly full back there. But again, like we were right after teams, which are more people back there and different movements. But totally fine. I felt warmed up every single time. I had 30 minutes to fully get warmed up on the stuff that I needed.
So then this was the first competition. You got to be with your coach.
Mm-hmm.
What was that experience like? Because you've never really had a coach at an event ever.
No. Yeah, it's different. I don't know him like, or even like his voice well enough. So like, I was like, was that you that was yelling for me? Like, I know Ron, and I know when Ron's yelling at me, but like, I don't know Tristan's yelling voice. And so half the time I'm like, I don't know who's yelling for me.
So I could hear him on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think at times he was like near whoever was, like Brian or whoever was announcing. And there were times where I could hear him. Not all the time, but sometimes. It was really it was funny that I could pick it up.
Yeah. And sometimes I just wonder if I'm coachable. Like, I don't know how he feels about like do I receive what he's trying to say well? How does he think I performed? I don't know. You know me, I just want encouragement. I want to feel like you're proud of me. That's like the biggest thing with me.
Well, I heard him say it on our shows that he was very proud of you. But there are times when you are not receiving it because your head is about what just happened.
Yeah.
But as in the little recap we did for MFC, you talked about trying to be better at that.
I know. I've been trying to reflect on this weekend and not be so, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. So did you have any debrief with Tristan or?
Not really.
Okay.
We just sort of relaxed on Sunday night, and I'm supposed to not be like doing much this week, so we haven't even really chatted. I messaged him today, stuff for next week, but not a whole lot.
All right. Well, overall, I think it was a great event to watch. It was the broadcast. They did an awesome job.
They really did.
For, a couple cameras and a couple headsets, bang up job. Kudos to them. It was fun getting to watch and I think that on a side note, I think this is where, like, I described to somebody as these are like the mid majors in college football. Like you have the national championship playoff system in college football. And then you have the New Year's 6. Like we need a New Year's 6 because all the big ones are going to invite only.
Right.
So you need these New Year's 6 to like give people an opportunity to race, to give people an opportunity to touch apparatus they never get to touch any other time of the year, to get ready to see where they're at in the off season, to know where they need to work going into next season. Because a lot of the people, yeah, there were some games athletes at Crash, but for the most part, it was our semifinal athletes that we've been getting to know for the last 2 years that are trying to figure it out to get to the games. And I thought this was an excellent competition for that. Just good data points. And Carolyn Prevost, games athlete, said that it definitely made her want to do it next year.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was really well run. You could tell, like, the schedule was just like, we're going to be back in 10 minutes, and 10 minutes they were going.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like it was kind of like maybe for like Savon a long day, because it's 6 heats of women and of the same thing. And I was a little worried at first he was gonna like just not even cover the teams and masters just so we could get right to the individuals. Because it is kind of a lot to just go back to back to back of, especially like that chip.
What they did after Friday is they alternated who was doing it, and they took breaks.
Okay.
So nobody was out there for too awful long.
That's
just
good.
So you know.
Well, Sousa killed it. Holy cow.
Yeah. Sousa was great on the mic. Yeah, it was good. It was good stuff. They did a great job. And I think they were still feeling it out. Like, okay, now they know Sousa can fill in for Brian, so he can go do some stuff. And then like it'll get better and better as they go.
Yeah.
So
I will say, like, I did go back and watch a couple and just try to see the stream. And as a spectator, I feel like the heats of 6 were way better. Like, way easier to like hear Brian talk about the athletes and follow the story. And there's not like it like fit in camera and you could see what was going on. So I feel like the 6 was really good as a spectator, minus the fact that maybe it was a little bit long. I just, as a participant, you kind of want like at least 8 to 12 out there and a little bit more of a race.
Yeah.
If he gets any bigger, I feel like he's going to have to find another place to do it. Which sucks.
Yeah.
It's just super nice. It is a cool gym. And it's nice to probably be in your home gym. But I could see him outgrowing it. And
like, he owns the gym, so he's not. If he wants to put tape on the floor, he can put tape on the floor.
Right.
Like, there are things that aren't going to be as nice if you go somewhere else because you'll be restricted on what you can do. But yeah. So, and then I did my first play-by-play on the Jamie Cam on Sunday morning, and called Stacy Marino, Amy Morton for the whole first part of the event.
Oh no!
But other than that, like, I felt it was a strong first outing as a play-by-play guy.
Okay, we got to work on that.
Yeah. And it's funny because like I went down through the leaderboard before, like all the masters' names just as you're going just kind of get jumbled up in there, and I was like, dang. But Stacy friended me on Instagram, so apparently like I didn't upset her too bad.
I got to talk with her, and we've been at the same comp for like 3 years, always around each other. And both her and I are very similar in that we just kind of like shut down and zone out and just go compete. And I got to chat with her a lot over the weekend, and I'm thankful for that. Like, I don't always do that, and maybe because this was just like just go and try whatever for me. You're not going out and winning. I was maybe like a little more relaxed in that aspect. So that was really nice getting to chat with her. And Allison came on Saturday, so I got to see her.
Love Allison. She's just one of the nicest people ever. Travis is in the chat. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, Travis.
Sporting the gear tonight. So enough about Crash.
Okay.
We'll move on, kind of. So one of your competitors was Haley Murillo, who I have gotten to know over the last couple years at semifinals. She was in Knoxville both years, I believe. No, she was in West Coast Classic, and then so I got to know her over the last couple years. Super nice person. I've interviewed her a couple times. Love her to death. But Peter from Coffee Pods and Wads, or Pedro, as you guys know him, interviewed her, and I'm going to pull that up because there's been a lot of speculation, and she kind of puts it out there. And Pedro got the exclusive, so hopefully he doesn't zing us for sharing his video. But here we go.
That versus like these big training camps. Like when you show up to a competition, you don't need a huge camp. You just need a small little circle that is like that just gets that fired up when you're doing good.
Someone that's letting you mind your baby. Someone that's letting you
and I think that is getting kind of looked over a little bit. Like all these camps grow. I think if I could say.
Do I have the wrong timestamp?
It was like 7:50. I don't know where you're at.
Okay, 7:30. I thought it was.
Oh yeah, you're 7:50.
7 dummy. Okay, let's try
all the young athletes. One thing is like find a small group of people.
Rumors are abound that one of the young athletes
I don't really know for sure speaking on it, but we are helping someone out, and we are just trying to encourage her and bring her back to where she just loves it and she's having fun.
The last 8 months has given you some opportunity to 100%.
I think I've been around so long, and I've been coached by one coach specifically, but I've had a couple, and I just know exactly what an individual athlete needs. And then Josh and I, we've been studying all the science behind all the training for years.
That's probably good. Yeah.
So we have that. And that Peter asked her if she's training a young athlete. There's rumors abound. And she said, I don't know if I should be speaking of it, but we are helping someone out. And then today on both Instagrams, we'll show. So first we will go to Haley Mario's Instagram. And in her stories, there is Haley Adams drinking coffee in her house at Haley Mario's house. And the caption is drinking all the coffee with this one this morning and enjoying that. And then we go to Haley Adams' Instagram, where we see this post, and give it a couple minutes, but or not a minute.
Well, you can already tell she's not in the barn or right. So that should catch your eye right away. Where is she?
And if you look at the Haley, this is Haley Mario's Instagram. Just a lot of hard work going on with hearts. And there's Haley Mario and Haley Adams doing sandbag carries. And now biking together side by side. So there you go. And then right after this, I think you see Josh assisting Haley Adams on a back squat.
Yep.
So that's Josh. That is Haley's husband. And just so you guys know, Haley and her husband, Josh, they train stuntmen and stunt women in Hollywood for movies. And they've done stunt work themselves. So I think.
Yeah, they're in LA, correct?
They're definitely in LA, Chelsea. Because Bethany Flores works out there as well. And we know Bethany's in LA because her husband works for the Lakers. So yeah, Bethany Flores works out with, now she's being coached by Perrin at Training Think Tank, but she
Correct.
works out with Haley. So they're just training partners. And then, yeah. And Elise says they were on Savon's show. Yeah, they were also on this show too, a couple times. And for a minute, they actually had a podcast, Josh and Haley, for a little bit. So, yeah.
Yeah, that, if you haven't watched that full Coffee Pods and Wads, you need to go watch it. Especially that like 5-6 minutes that he talks with Haley. It was a really good interview. She just had a lot of insight. She spoke in there about being here at Crash and basically like asking, telling herself like, am I good enough? Like sometimes, like that inner battle, like sometimes you're like, no, you're really good. And then you finish and you're like, I'm not good at all. Like, and you're questioning. And I found that like just hit, like, that's exactly how I feel when I'm out there. Sometimes you're like, yeah, you're good. Sometimes you're like, no, you suck.
Yeah, it's funny. The way I met her was the West Coast Classic in 2021 were all redos of classic events, just like Crash was this time.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you guys did that thruster ladder at the West Coast Classic. They did the actual squat clean ladder, snatch clean ladder,
yes,
squat snatch ladder.
Yes.
And when she did it in regionals in like 2016, she only got like 8 reps in. She didn't even finish the first bar.
Right.
And at West Coast Classic, she finished the entire, the whole thing.
And that's when you first started the clip and she was talking about get a small tribe around you. That's what she was talking about, especially Josh. And she said that, because he like is out there cheering for her. He's pretty loud. But she's like, you should have seen him at West Coast Classic on that snatch. It was just a really good interview. You guys should watch that podcast. It was good.
So that was like the first feature I did for Morning Chalk Up. And we took the footage from the regionals in 2016 side with 21 and showed how much further she made it. And then you see Josh like jumping and screaming at the end of the lane.
Yeah.
But that's how I met her in 21. So it was a fun way to meet her because it was a huge accomplishment for her.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So yeah, I think we probably have confirmed coach. We don't know. Nobody has said coach. Is she getting assistance and help and all of that? It appears so. For sure.
Yeah.
And I think like really, like Haley just needs Haley Murillo says it well. Get a small tribe of people that believe in you and that support you. And that's what makes you strong. And she also points out in that interview that athletes need individualized coaching, right? Every athlete is different. And that's a perfect segue into the Hopper interview this morning, that not every round peg fits in a round hole. Some are square pegs and they need something a little bit different, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was really well done, talking about Jason, very open and honest about like that when he went to Vermont, Matt was an introvert. He is an extrovert. And the way they do things just doesn't mesh. And it created a burnout for him. And he didn't use the term burnout, but like I would.
Oh, he used the term burnout.
Oh,
he said he was burned out. Oh yeah, he said he was burned out like 4 times. And there's something to be said by that. If both him and Male are both like overtrained and burned out, like the sad thing is I think in one aspect, like it kind of does need to be all consuming and it kind of does need to be your only focus if you actually want to win the CrossFit Games. And so, like, sadly, that probably never going to be the position for Hopper. Because I don't think he wants to give this, like, literally everything. He made that pretty clear today. Like, he wants to go to the games and maybe podium, but I don't think he never once said he wants to win the games. I think he knows that that's a little bit more commitment than he maybe is willing to give. He's just, I don't know. To me it sounded a lot like the interview with Guy. And I don't know, like, Matt got so good because it was his sole focus and everyone around him allowed it to be his sole focus. And I don't know that I don't know anything about Jason or his wife or their relationship, but I think I don't know if he necessarily even wants to put her in that position to be like, hey, that's going to be my sole focus and I'm not going to necessarily have energy to entertain you at night. I don't even think he wants that for them. So, like,
Well, I think
totally, Travis. I totally agree with that. And that may be the route that he's just happy being a games athlete who gets a following, and yeah.
So here's my beef with that is that worked for Matt, but, like, I wouldn't say Tia was all consuming. She did things with Shane. She went to South America and climbed Machu Picchu or whatever and did, like, they do other things. They travel during the season, like, where Matt he doesn't do any comps. He doesn't do any, like, it can be done to different degrees. And it really depends on the athlete. And I would say Froning wasn't all consuming. Now, did he put in the work? He sure as hell put in the work. Like, he didn't do it in the way Matt did it. He was married. They had a kid when, like, they adopted a kid. They went through those processes. All that's draining, all that stuff. So I think you still have to put in the work. That I'm not disagreeing with. But does it have to be all consuming and your only focus and not go out and not do anything? I think you can have a little tiny bit of balance.
Well, I think we're seeing that's a little bit needed just from the athletes who are maybe trying to fit into Matt's way and it's not really working for them. Because, yeah, like, he said it in there, like, you went and he gave everything and came out with a 31st. Like, then it makes you scared to, like, try again. Like, what else can you do? And will it get any better?
I think maybe he's different. It was said in here somewhere. Different strokes for different folks. Vellner has other focuses. Vindicate says Jason is best when his personality can come out. He's not the closed-in competitor like Matt. I agree with all that stuff, right? Like you have to fit your personality and what works for you. Like Ariel Lowen at the games talks to everybody because that's what makes her comfortable. Takes third place, right? That works for her. You are very focused when you're at a competition, and you won Masters Fitness Collective, right? Like it works different for everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Emily Rolfe is intimidating as hell trying to get an interview at a competition because of her focus, right? Where Ariel is a piece of cake because she'll talk to anybody anytime. And both of them, I think, achieve to the best of their ability in what they have.
Elise, I would say probably not, but that's just my opinion. Like, I think it's going to take somebody that's going to have that kind of domination again. And I think your point, Tia, is Shane is in the same exact mindset as Matt was, and so is Tia. So like I feel like the three of them are all like the exact same mindset. And I don't know if we're gonna see that again from really. I don't know. I don't know who's gonna even be able to try to fit in those shoes. And I think the people trying to do it are overdoing it and burning themselves out.
Yeah, because I wonder how from what I was, and again, I was working while I was listening to the Hopper interview, and I was listening to it on 1.5 speed. So what I got from him is Matt wasn't forcing him into anything, but the regimen of kind of like what was going on around him, I think made him feel like he had to be this way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Is the legend of Matt hurting him more than the actual Matt?
Possibly. Yeah, I mean, maybe that pressure like was felt by male too, like just a little bit too much, trying to live up to someone else's. You're not even, and yeah, Matt may not even be doing it at all. It's just your opinion of what you think Matt is, and you're putting that on yourself, and like you aren't Matt.
Right. And nobody saw what Matt was actually doing. We just know the stories and the legend.
Right.
Right. And yeah. But anyway, enough about that.
Okay.
So I wanted to do a giveaway. And what I have is I ordered some cards from Wad Zombie, mint trading cards. And he threw in some extra stuff for us to give away. So
Sweet.
Tonight is going to be a very basic giveaway, but I'm hoping in the future it'll be a little more cool because I am going to see if my friends will autograph some of these trading cards and we'll give away autograph versions of them at a later time. But right now I'm giving away a mystery pack of mint trading cards. And all you have to do to win is in the last year and a half, Jamie Latimer has competed in 4 in-person competitions as an individual athlete. Correct? If you can tell me.
No, as an individual? Is that what you said? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you can tell me how many times of those 4 she finished on the podium, and you write that number in the YouTube comments, not on this, not the live chat, but go into YouTube and in the comments, write the number that she finished on the podium. So 4 different competitions, 2 Masters Fitness, 1 Masters Fitness Collective, 1 Masters Fitness Championship, Legends, and Crash.
Correct.
I'll even give you the 4. How many of those 4 competitions did she finish on the podium? And you go to our YouTube channel on this video and in the comments, put the number in there. If you're right, you'll be put in a drawing for a mystery pack of mint trading cards. Wad Zombie mint trading cards. So don't put it in the chat because we don't want people to know your answer. Go out to YouTube and do that. And then we will give those away. And then I am going to have some autographed, and we'll give away autograph versions of them in the near future with different trivia questions or different random things. So excited to do a giveaway.
Did you see my birthday shirt?
I saw that it said like sign here.
Yeah, and I got so many signatures. It's awesome.
From the athletes at Crash?
Yeah.
Did you get Bill Leahy's?
I did not. I know.
He's gonna win the games.
I saw the interview. Is that our next topic?
Yep.
Okay.
So if you were on with us during Crash, we gave Bill Leahy a pretty hard time about day one. Now I gave him credit on day two, but day one, I did not like his lack of urgency on an event. But then on day two, saw the urgency, was very happy with. And then Hiller actually confronted him after doing 2 videos about him and did a sit-down interview. And if you've not seen it, well worth your time to watch. And basically they go through, and this kid, you could tell, like in my opinion, super authentic, super genuine. Kid found CrossFit, turned down a basketball scholarship to go into CrossFit as opposed to going to college for that, and learned it all on his own. Has really no coach, no one to help him with the stuff, and didn't even know the standards when he was submitting videos. And then it seems like in every step he gets caught doing something, and then he fixes that, but then he messes something up further down the line.
Yeah.
And so they had a really good conversation about it, and that Bill has a group of people now, an inner circle, that are going to review his videos before submission.
Good.
And make sure that the standards are going to be okay. And I've met one of them. I've met 2 of them, because Scott Tetlow is one, classy dude. Roy Vigor, who was a Masters athlete at the games, met him at the West Coast semifinal. Super cool guy. I think he's the only person to ask me for a selfie at the West Coast semifinal, because he's buddies with Rudy. But so I was super stoked about that, and I think that this is a great step in the direction, because that kid is talented. Like, you could just see it watching him on the floor. Super talented, and it's going to be amazing to see, if given the right direction, if he can make a run at this.
I agree.
And at the end of the interview, Hiller kind of indicates that he'd like to help him.
I heard that.
And in what capacity that would be, I don't know, but it sounded a little bit of like coaching, a little mentorship. Be interesting to see how that plays out.
Carolyn's not sold on it.
So Carolyn, that was said by Andrew Hiller. I was just quoting that. But he is super talented and super fit. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes.
Do we know what his holes are?
Well, he's a big dude.
He's not that big.
Well, he looks big on the stream, and the pegboard got him.
Yeah.
I don't know. The rest of the weekend, he looked great. He looked good on his hands. He destroyed the flip sled. He did well in the thruster.
Did he do good on the ring muscle ups?
I didn't see that. Chelsea Miller says his whole list of standards.
That's hilarious. Oh, goodness. That was a good one. It sounded like they were trying to like hold him to higher standards on the floor at Crash, which is almost unfair.
Yeah, I had a mini rant on Saturday night on the show, because Brian Friend said that he needs to be held to a higher standard until he can prove he does it. And I completely disagree with that thought process. He should be held to the standard, not a higher standard. That's all. just like every athlete should be held to the same standard, the standard.
His movement looks good of what I saw. I don't necessarily see that, but yeah, like not like getting off the rower early, just weird. Like I don't think it sounds like he didn't read the standard, so it is what it is. Like if he really didn't know how to do a proper B up, but neither did a lot of people, so you can't really fault him on that one.
Yeah, the rower one looked bad from people who have been in the sport, but if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like common sense to me, but
It's
I
because
don't
you've
know.
been around it so long, though.
I
Like,
guess I guess.
I mean, when I
Yeah.
first started CrossFit, I would ghost ride the last bit and I'd start getting out of the rower before I knew anything about the open. Hell, I probably did it even after I knew in regular workouts, not as
Yeah.
blatantly, not like running to the GHD, but I'd ghost ride it out a little bit. Carolyn is definitely not sold. There's also a huge difference between the field at Crash and the field he would face at the games. I think he can definitely make the games next year. Will be exciting to watch his growth. Lots of talent. I agree completely. So when I'm watching these events as an analyst, I'm looking at like how well they do the movement, how easily they complete the movement. And I just see a lot of talent. I don't know if he can win the games. I think he can make the games for sure. I agree completely with what Carolyn is saying. He just made a lot of movements look easy.
Yeah. He looks comfortable out there in most things. I will say, Colton had some performances there that I don't think could have been touched. Like literally by anyone else. So right. Yeah. I mean,
he could, not today or tomorrow. He's only 22. And he did. He did not put a timetable on when he could. But the interview was so good. And I think Bill came across so genuine that like I think Hiller fell in love with him.
I do too.
Right? Like, and not in the romantic sense, but like just really likes the kid now.
Yeah.
And wants him to do better.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was it was a great interview. Like I sent Hiller a message saying, like, amazing job, dude. That was a great interview. Cause like it was phenomenal. Stealing a word from Corey Leonard.
Were you impressed with Austin Hatfield?
Oh yeah. I mean, I picked him to win.
Yeah.
Like he's been on my radar since semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he won the Wadapalooza qualifier, like he was definitely my pick for Crash.
Mm-hmm.
Gave me a little heart attack at the beginning of the weekend, but then came back and solid performance to finish up. But that's a feather in his cap to beat James Sprague and Colton Mertens and yeah. Max Krieg did great.
Yeah.
Cut another one that I've had my eye on since semis, all because of you pointed me out to him and pointed him out to me. So yeah, that's what was fun about this event. Like we've gotten to know so many of these people over the last year and a half. It's been it was a blast seeing them all out on the floor. It was like, cause Holly Henderson's one of my favorite people too. And I felt bad because I didn't want to root for her because you were in the same field. But there it is. And that's the bad thing when you do this job now is you get to know them, and it's really hard at events rooting for an outcome because someone you like is probably not going to make it then. So, well, on to Rogue is next weekend. Can you believe
Oh
that?
boy. No, are you ready for a weekend of are we like going live a lot or are we just doing one day?
We're going to go live a lot.
Okay.
If you're up for it.
I have a Halloween party on Saturday, but otherwise should be okay.
It's before Halloween.
Yeah, that's when are you gonna have a Halloween party?
I actually think we have a Halloween party Saturday too. So
Exactly.
So ours is 80s theme, so I'll probably come in. I don't know. I haven't figured out a costume yet.
I haven't either.
So I'll just do it in costume when I get back.
I don't know that I will be home at a time to do a night show, but we'll see. Maybe I won't leave until we've done the show.
Okay. We don't even know what the schedule is to know
Right.
like anything. So maybe that'll be a mid-afternoon show, like in between the events, and we'll catch up on Sunday with whatever.
Okay.
So Rogue's coming. The biggest question I have right now is earlier this week, and I will show it. Sure I will. Here we go. It was put up on Rogue Invitational's Instagram. Shelby Neal, now a competitor at Rogue.
Who's she filling in for?
That is new. I cannot figure it out. Nothing has been updated. Nothing has been pulled from the Instagram. Nothing has been updated on the competitors list on the website. She is not even on the competitors list on the website. So I have no idea who she's filling in for. I've tried to go through Instagrams to see if anybody said they withdrew. I did not get through everybody, but I have not found it if it's out there. So we knew that Alexis Raptis withdrew last week. And we knew that Paige Semenza filled her spot.
Okay.
So now we have Shelby Neal filling in for we don't know.
Oh, I did see that. That is a possibility.
That is, yeah, I just read that post.
I did too. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah. Ovarian cancer, I believe, was a fight for a couple of years. And you're talking about Lauren Fisher.
Correct.
Not Laura. Yeah, Lauren. She's the only Lauren. Never mind. So, yeah. So that's probably a pretty good guess, Carolyn.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see what happens with that, but and that's sad. But I did read that post today looking for a withdrawal. And man, Carolyn's better than I am. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together on that one.
Yeah, me either.
So, yeah.
Lauren was in off of the online qualifier?
Correct. But I don't think Shelby was like 7th. But it's an invitational. They can do whatever they want.
That's true. Interesting.
So yeah, good call. Bad news, good call. And so thoughts and prayers out to Lauren Fisher because I can't even imagine that. So I guess the last couple things on the agenda, and then we'll call it a night, is tomorrow I am interviewing Asta Malialo, the director of affiliates with CrossFit, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So talking to him about all that, met him at the Midwest affiliate gathering. And so talk about what direction they're heading in with affiliates and what they're doing for everybody there. And then the last thing I have on my list is I had such a good time doing the stories from the MFC. Little short, hopefully consumable videos from all the different athletes we talked to and followed at the MFC. And so I'm putting it out there to everyone. If you like that kind of content, that's something we could do. That's something we could do in the future at other events. Have like little 5-minute sit downs, 5 to 10 minute sit downs, and put together a little highlight reel and do that, like stories from whatever event we're working on. So if you like that, please let us know in the comments of any of those videos or this one, because those were really easy to put together, and it's not as daunting as like the games documentary that we're working on. And I think I'm going to be able to buy a new camera this weekend.
Yay.
I have sold enough memorabilia to afford a camera and a lens, I believe. So, hoping to be able to do that this weekend and have a better camera to do all of that stuff and not have to carry 3 cameras with me at all times, but just one to do everything. So super excited about that. But if you like that kind of content, it was really fun to put together. And I could get it out a lot faster than I could like a major documentary. So if you like that, let us know. Because we're going to Legends. So we could do it there. And I've actually had a couple of Masters athletes reach out to me asking if we could follow them at the Legends. And
really,
people aren't even people I've ever met before.
Wow.
And I've gotten a lot of feedback from other athletes saying thank you for doing this. So I'm hoping
Is Lana going to Legends? No.
No.
Man, I feel like we need a second person at Legends.
We probably do.
It's like 2 separate. It's like it was at Mayhem, like 65 through 51 or whatever, I guess would be 50 is like allowed to go in from 8 a.m. to 1, and that's them. And then so like if you're trying to do it, you're going to be there from like 8 to 8, and it's going to be awful.
It all depends on what they have set up for media. And I actually have to ask them if I can get a media credential.
They need to let you get a media credential. Holy cow.
Yeah. Kenneth, I don't think Wheel Wad's in my future. And they have like a media team that is kind of embedded with them. And it's actually Bruce, a good friend of ours, that we see at all the events. He kind of, BAW Media, kind of does all of Wheel Wad stuff. So, yeah. And yeah, I just don't know what's going on with Adaptive. Like, I haven't been able to hear from them in a while. So,
Bruce did like a big chunk of the mass of MFC.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he was their main person.
He was. Yeah, he was in our hotel. So when we were doing the shows every night, he was in the lobby with me. Oh. He was editing while I was doing the show. So, yeah, it was fun stuff. Well, with that, where's Legends? It is in Tempe, Arizona.
ASU.
Or right here. Oh, sorry. It's getting late. I'm getting goofy. All right. Well, a little bit shorter show tonight. I think that's okay. We'll let everybody get to bed, and we will see everyone next week which I'm assuming will be a Rogue preview. I think they're starting next Thursday.
Woo!
So we might even have, it's probably like one offsite event.
Okay.
I'm guessing on Thursday. That's what they did in years past. Well, so we may have a workout to break down.
Cool.
If not, we'll preview the weekend.
All right.
You take strongman, I'll take CrossFit.
Okay. Really my wheelhouse there.
All right. With that, we'll see everybody next time on Thursday Night CrossFit Talk.
We about to change